moving on to our favorite segment of the week, baby. That's right. It's this week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. Bitch, let's go. If you tailed the one more round parlay, oh yeah, it looks something like this. Yeah, David Onama, Randy Brown, Chris Gutierrez. David Onama, sweaty after round one. Chris Gutierrez, sweaty after round one. Pull off the decision wins, getting rounds 2 and 3. Randy Brown knocking his opponent out. Let's go. Because it cashed. Cash it. 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 You're welcome if you tailed. You're welcome if you tailed. That's what I do. I provide a green check every week. I try, at least. I try. I do my best to provide you a green check every week. At least one parlay that'll cash. So it suits you right to tail. But yeah, cashed, baby. Shout out. Shout out. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But before, I gave you guys a pick on Chris Gutierrez and John Castaneda. I told you, I was like, if any fight on this card is going to go to split decision, it's this fight. If any fight on this entire card is going to go to split decision, it's this fight. Both of these guys fight tooth and nail for their wins. And, you know, it's not about how much you put on it. It's about the units. Plus 250. Okay? Plus 250. You got to love that bet. An easy bet. All you had to do was, nobody had to, you just had to go to the distance. And you know it was going to go split if it was those two guys. These guys are kings of the split decisions. So that split, you can only do it on DK, unable to do it on FanDuel. So it is what it is. But glad that cashed. We had the Schnell over 1.5 rounds. I did not trust that at all, as you can see by my $1 thrown on it. But yeah, because I thought I had Schnell TKO in many parlays, and yeah, got fucked real hard. Also cashing on FanDuel for $1.50 or whatever. Fuck, you know, who cares? I lost all my singles, basically. Every single single I put out on the night, and if I won on the single, it was in a parlay that eventually died on something else. Okay, just quickly going over what I lost on. Lost on Jocelyn Edwards' decision. Lost on Kwamba decision. Lost on Kwamba round 3. Lost on Jacqueline Amorim submission round 1. Lost on Cameron Simon decision and Wellmaker KO round 2. Lost on Damon Blackshear submission. Lost on Ali Alateng decision. Lost on, oh no, we won on Chris Gutierrez decision, but it was in a parlay that lost. We stayed away from Elder Young. We lost on Schnell TKO. We lost on Alice Skarov decision. We lost on the over in that fight. We lost on Randy Brown decision. We had Randy Brown TKO in a parlay that eventually lost because Carlos Pradas didn't get the TKO. We lost on Michelle Pajeda decision. We lost on Michelle Pajeda sub. We lost on David Onama TKO, but we had David Onama decision, which lost on a parlay that also had Randy Brown decision. And then we lost on Anthony Smith decision and Zhang Ming Yang decision. And we lost on Pradas TKO, Ian Gary TKO, all those. So it was a tough night on singles, but at least the parlay cashed. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like I said, we had the one more round parlay that cashed. Okay, and you know, we did a quarter unit. I told you fight nights we usually do half units. This fight night I wasn't so sure about. Plus we have another fight night next week. I thought we only had one fight night, then our numbered event. But you know, I went light this week, a little quarter unit action. Little 25 into a 90 piece, 85 piece, whatever you want to call it. But it was pretty nice. And of course we did it on both apps. Of course we did it on both apps because I believe in my picks. And that's why I put them out there. So Chris Gutierrez, Randy Brown, David Onama cashes on FanDuel as well at plus 231. A little weird that FanDuel odds weren't as good as the DraftKings odds because FanDuel's usually better, but it is what it is. DraftKings won the weekend. Sorry, guys, that we didn't cash on the UFC high-risk parlay. Carlos Pradas didn't cash. Obviously, we were this close to cashing that. And then Michelle Pajeda didn't pan out. Matt Schnell worked out, but Cameron Simon didn't work out. So this was a loser pick right here. Only one of 4. Sorry about that one. Hopefully you didn't take those guys as singles as well, because we got fucked on those. And we also got screwed on the Ian Machado Gary TKO. But UFCP units was right again, because they chose the right fighter. Ian Machado Gary did end up getting the win. So that was nice to see. Speaking of that fight, the only other single that we won on the night was an Ian Machado Gary decision, and I hastily put it in last second, but I just threw 5 at it at a plus 200, brought back 15, more than double the money. Can't be mad at that. Got it on both apps. Got it at plus 220 on FanDuel there, so I brought back 16 instead of 15. So you can't be mad at it. A little $100 night, $100 night on both apps. I ain't mad at it. We basically, barely ended up because of all the losses on the singles, but it is what it is, yo. That's the game we're playing. That's why we do it. And that's why I'm not mad at a brief but nice little win, short edition of this week's wins. This week's wins, baby. Yeah. Yeah.